In 2014, a crack toy fixer was banished from the forums for talking about repairing vintage toys. Undeterred, this man promptly set up his own YouTube channel located in the Somerset Underground. Today, still wanted by hardcore Star Wars collectors, he survives as a maverick toy restorer. If you have a problem, if no one else can help, and if you can find him, maybe toy-polloi can help you. Welcome to toy-polloi.
Hello and welcome to another video from toy-polloi, and in today's video we are working again on the A-Team, because it turns out that if no one else can help you, then actually you need to ask toy-polloi, not the A-Team, because these guys had seen some serious battles. Murdock's arm had come off, Face's head had come off, Mr.T's leg had fallen off, and they were all really rather loose and floppy. So in that previous video I got all of those things restored, and as you can see they are now all standing on their own 2 feet, but they do have a rather large amount of paint wear, and that is what we're going to be looking at today. We're going to see if we can sort out all of the paint rubs on these figures and make them look as good as new, or as close to new as we can get. So let's get on with the project. So here we have the 4 key members of the A-Team, and as you saw in the previous video, these figures had been well loved and well played with, and they did have some serious issues. We had to reattach Face's head, so that was done with some Lego, but once that's all fixed up, you can see he's now a pretty reasonable figure. Again, Mr.T's leg had come off, and that was another Lego fix, and we also had a problem with Murdock's arm being detached, and again another Lego fix for that one. And then the final issue was they all had really loose floppy limbs, so we sorted that out. But they are still fairly battered looking figures. Because they've been well played with, there's an awful lot of paint rubs going on, mainly on the pelvis. You can see here all of these figures suffer with this problem. The paint wears off the lower part of the pelvis. So here on Hannibal, because he's got this light beige top, the pelvis is made out of light beige plastic with blue paint on it, and once it wears away you can see that beige plastic through. We have the same problem here on Murdock, again a dark brown plastic with light paint over the top of it. Mr.T probably gets away with it the most, just because it's sort of a dark blue with black over it, but you can still see we've got a fair amount of paint wear, and the same on Faceman here. The blue has worn away and the black plastic is showing through. Then it's just fairly common paint rubs. All the feet have paint rubs on them, all the hands have paint rubs on them, and there's a bit of damage to some of the faces. So a lot of issues to fix up. Actually, I can see here the gold chains on Mr.T also need fixing up. So we are going to try and deal with all of those today. I think the first thing to do is start with some easy issues, and the easy issues on these ones are black and white. We need some black paint for Face's feet, we need some white paint for all of the other feet, and I think we also need a little bit of black paint there on Mr.T's head. So we'll start with the simplest bits of paint and we'll work our way to the more complicated ones. We will start with the white, as there's a fair amount of white on pretty much all the figures. In fact, Faceman I think is the only one that doesn't have any white on him. On Hannibal here you can see we've got a few little scuffs just on the top of his sort of shirt collars there, just a couple of little marks, and then his white trainers need a little bit of repair over the top of them. Again on Murdock it's just the sort of front of his Converse there. Same on Mr.T, maybe a little bit on his socks. Yeah, there's a few little rubs on his socks there. So we are going to be using some Vallejo model colour, just a plain white here. Now this has a matte finish. In fact, all of the paints I'm using will have a matte finish, and we will sort that out at the end by adding a clear top coat that makes it the sort of shiny finish of the original paint. So I'm just going to carefully touch up the paint on those. I'm hoping the white straight out of the bottle will match, but sometimes with the original paints used on these figures, they do tend to yellow over time. So it may be that the white just looks too pristine white. So I have a couple of other colours here that I may mix in. So we've got some gold yellow and we have some beige, just to take the sort of harsh white out of this paint, because I have a feeling it will be just a little bit too bright. I've got myself a fairly tiny brush here because it's sort of fairly tiny bits of painting to do. I'm probably not going to paint the sort of the soles of the feet, because these actually have the name of the original person who owned them, which was Kev G, and I want to leave that there. So I'm just going to touch up the stuff that we can see when the figures are standing, and any marks on the bottom I'm going to leave as is. So let's get these white bits touched up. You may find with some of these touch-ups that it requires a couple of coats of paint, especially when it's a light colour being painted over such a dark plastic. You can see here on Hannibal's feet that the blue is just sort of peeking through, so I'm going to give a second coat to that. But the bit on his collar is actually covered up pretty nicely, so it's just going to be his feet that will require a second coat. But already that makes quite a big difference. Now we can do the same with the black paint. So it's just Face's shoes need a bit of black on them, and then we need some on Mr. T's pelvis around there, and a few little bits on his beard and on his mohawk. He's also missing his eyebrows, so I'm going to paint those on with sort of a paintbrush. But with his eyebrows, I will do that using my pin tool, which I've shown before, which is a pin in an old paintbrush handle. Gives you really good control for just putting small amounts of paint on. We should be able to repaint those pretty well. So let's get the black done. I can't see that taking a huge amount of time. There's a fair amount of wear on the bottom of Mr. T there, but it's a fairly simple thing to repaint. So let's get that black painted on as well. For the skin tones on these figures, I'm going to start with this Humble Aquacolor paint, which is number 36135, which is called Flesh. It's actually a pretty good flesh tone, but the flesh tone on these is slightly different. So to that, I'm going to be adding some red. I've just added a very tiny amount of this game color Bloody Red, which is 72.010, and a very tiny amount of yellow. This is Gold Yellow, another game color 72.007. And I've managed to get a good match for Murdock. I'll probably have to tweak that a little bit for Face, and then I'll tweak it again for Hannibal. They're all subtly different because each bit of paint has sort of aged in a different way, but I think that's a close enough match. So certainly the mix I've got here for Murdock is pretty good. Again, this is going to take a couple of coats just because we've got a lighter skin tone colour onto a very dark plastic. I think Face will be the same, but when we come to Hannibal, because his top is beige, might not need so many coats. But yeah, it's going to be a sort of mix as we go type paint job on this one. Each one is subtly different, but you can see the tone match I've got there is pretty good for Murdock. So let's get him painted and then we'll tweak it for the other two. There are a couple of areas of red and orange that need touching up on the figures. Face has a red shirt, although it is a little bit orange, and Mr. T has either orange or red tops to his socks, depending on which version of the figure you get. And I found actually straight out of the bottle this game colour, which is called Orange Fire 72.008, is a very good match for the orange that I have on these socks. I'm just going to touch up a few little marks on them. And then for Face's shirt, I've actually mixed some of that with some red, which is this Bloody Red, again a game colour 72.010, and a small amount of white, and that has made a pretty good colour match for the sort of chips that I've got on here. It's going to take a couple of coats again, as you can see, just because it's onto black plastic, but that is a pretty nice match. So I'll just get those chips repaired, and then I think we can move on to either the pelvises or the head. I'm not quite sure which I'm going to do next. As you can see, I've taken the heads off these figures just because it means I can carry on painting the bodies while the heads are drying. We've already dealt with Mr. T's hair, which just required a little bit of black on it. I can see here with Murdock, we've just got some paint rubs just around the front of his baseball cap, so that should be fairly straightforward to fix. Again, just looking in my box of paints, I have this game colour called Ultramarine Blue, which is 72.022. And that looks like it should be a pretty good match. It might need a little bit of black in that to get that to tone in, but that will be a good starting point. On Hannibal's hair, it's just a sort of plain grey, so I'm going to mix up some black and some white and I get a grey which matches that. It needs a little bit of blue adding. It just looks like there's a slight tinge of blue to the paint on this one, but basically it's going to be a grey sort of colour that we mix up for that one. And then we come to Face Man, whose hair is brown, so I will use a starting point of this game colour, which is called Beastly Brown 72.043. I'll probably add a little bit of black and a little bit of white into that just to get the tone right, because as you can see that's a little bit more orange at the moment, so we need to sort of add a bit of grey to tone it down. But those are to be the sort of base colours that I use to get these fixed up. Otherwise I can't see any real sort of paint rubs on there. There may be a little bit on Murdock's hair, but really not enough to worry about. And the eyes are looking really pretty good. Actually, Hannibal's eyebrows need a little bit of touching up as well. What about faces? No, faces are all good. So yeah, just a bit of touching up on his eyebrows as well. So let's get all of these details sorted out. So that is the heads all done. I did change the blue that I used on Murdock's head. That ultramarine blue wasn't quite the right tone, so I swapped it out for this one, which is a Vallejo model colour called Blue 70.925. That was a much better match, just needed a little bit of black adding to it. On Faceman's hair, again, the Beastie Brown was a really good starting point. Into that I mixed some black and some white just to make it a bit more grey, and then I added a very, very tiny amount of the game colour, Bloody Red, the 72.010, and that matched the tone pretty much perfectly. So that is all of the heads done. Let's move on to the final areas on these toys. For Face's pelvis, I'm mixing a couple of blues together. So I'm mixing both Vallejo colours, blue and flat blue. So that's 70.925 and 70.962. Those mixed together actually seem to give a fairly close tone to the original blue. It's a little bit sort of hard to tell on here, but you can see I've painted the right hand side. I think that is a fairly close match. So I'm just going to do the final touches up on this. And these are really minor touches that need to be done to this one. It's just the sort of the tops of the folds of fabric have caught, and that's where the paint's rubbed off. If we turn him over, there's no rubs at all on the back. So yeah, a few little minor touches up on this one. The blue for Hannibal's trousers is a really odd mix because I think the paint's actually yellowed a bit, and also because it's painted on top of this beige plastic, it's got a very strange tone to it. So I'm mixing a few colours together and I've got something that's pretty close. I started with this Vallejo Andrea blue, which is 70.841. I've added a tiny amount of the flat blue, which is 70.962, and then a very small amount of the gold yellow, 72.007. That's a game colour, because that sort of yellowness just sort of adds to the blue and makes it match the paint here. So yeah, it's a really strange mix, but I think I've got something that's pretty close. It's going to be hard to get it to match perfectly, but that is not too bad. So might do a little bit more mixing, but those are certainly the basic colours that I'm using. And yeah, I think it's going to be close enough, but this paint has certainly aged a bit strangely and it has a sort of slight hue about it. For Murdock's trousers, I've started with another Vallejo colour. This is 70.917 beige, but as you can see, straight out the pot, it's a very light sort of beige colour. So to that, I've added a bit of black and a tiny amount of white, and I've sort of mixed up a colour which is much more in keeping with the beige on his pelvis. But as you can see, I think that paint has sort of faded and sort of aged differently because it really now doesn't match the tone of his trousers. But I'm going to leave it in this sort of aged tone because I think that fits with the rest of the figure. These figures are never going to be perfect. There's always going to be sort of little sort of age spots and age wear on them, so I don't want to make it look too pristine. So the colour I've mixed up here with that bit of black and bit of white, it just sort of matches. You know, that is a pretty close match, and by the time I sort of touch these little areas up, you shouldn't spot them. There's still going to be a few little bits of wear on it, but yeah, I'm happy with that. But it really doesn't match the tone of his trousers at all. The last thing to do before we put the final top coat on is to sort out the gold on Mr. T's chains, and for that I'm going to be using a gold Sharpie. This is a really good match for the sort of tones of the original gold that was used, and once we put the top coat on it will really give a lovely finish. So I'm just going to quickly touch up all of the areas on the gold. Now you do have to remember that when these figures were originally painted they were actually done really quite scruffily, so there should be little sort of patches missing and little areas that aren't painted. It was done in a very rushed way. All of the painting of these figures was done in a very rushed way, so you don't need to do anything perfectly, it's just got to look sort of nice enough. So gold Sharpie, let's get on with it. So these figures are now ready for the final top coat, and I'm going to be using some Mr. Hobby semi-gloss top coat. I find that gives the right sort of sheen, that sort of semi-gloss shininess that you get on the plastic you also would have got on the paint. So a quick coat of that over the areas that we have repainted. I don't need to spray every part of the figure, so I will try and sort of concentrate on just the bits that I have touched up, and then these figures will be all done. So let's get that top coat applied and I'll show you the finished results. I'm often asked when I film videos like this, what sort of paints should I have in my paint selection? And really there is no definite answer to that. You will just need lots of different coloured paints because every action figure requires a different colour of paint or a different tone of paint. So there is no set sort of list of paints that you will need for any project. As you can see here, these are the 11 paints that I've used to touch up these 4 figures because they needed so many different tones and shades of colour. So here the core colours I guess are black and white, but then we have a whole selection of browns, reds, oranges, yellows down to beige, and then a different selection of blues. Chances are if I was painting some Star Wars figures I probably wouldn't need any of the colours to this right hand side. I would use black and white and then some other tones, but in this instance these are the colours that I've used. So really there is no set sort of paint palette that you need when you are fixing figures. You have to buy paints that are relevant to the figure that you are fixing at any one time. So I'm sorry I can't be more precise than that when it comes to what paints you need for fixing figures. It really is just down to the figure you are painting. So be prepared to have a large paint selection. As you can see here in my paint pot, I've got quite a few different paints because I've been fixing figures for a very long time. Just buy the paints you need as and when you need them. And so here we go, here are the 4 finished characters, and as you can see they are really now looking rather displayable considering how they started when they were first sent here in pieces with limbs broken off and bits damaged. They now look really lovely. So it just goes to show that a little bit of work and a little bit of time and effort and you can actually turn some very broken figures into some very displayable figures. The paint touch-ups and repairs that I've applied to them now have just finished them off because when you've got paint rubs and scratches and marks on them it just makes the figures look tatty. So as soon as those are fixed and repaired you can see they now look as good as they did the first time a child played with them back in the 80s. Obviously there are still some flaws with these figures just because they've been so well played with, but it really doesn't show when you're looking at them like this, and these will go straight on display with the rest of my figures here at Toy Polloi. So this has been a very fun project. I've never worked on these figures before, but they are very similar to all other action figures in the way that they work and the way they are constructed. So you saw in the first video that using a few bits of Lego and some other techniques that I've shown many times before on the channel I was able to repair them, and now using the same paints that I've used many times as well to fix other figures I've been able to get these looking really pretty nice. Hopefully you have enjoyed this video. If you have then make sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell to be notified each time I upload a new video, and if you've really enjoyed it and want to help me out here at Toy Poy then why not think about becoming a patron of the channel. You get early access to all of my restoration videos plus access to an exclusive video series called On the Cutting Mat where I show projects and restorations that you won't see anywhere else. So have a think about that and thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching Toy Polloi. Subscribe for more great videos.